Hi guys, my name is Sophie and today I'm going to do my April wrap-up. So these are the books that I read in April. I'm basically just going to jump straight in. I realised that this wrap-up is kind of late considering that it's already July, but we're just going to put that aside, we're going to put it over there, and it's just going to stay in the corner over there. And we're just going to okay? So the first thing that I read in April was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. I finished off the series in April, and the ones I still had to read were 5, 6 and 7, and I finished book 5, and of course, I gave it 5 stars. I think this is one of my favourite books in the series. Like, I despise Umbridge with a deep and powerful passion, for many reasons. But like, I really love this as a book. I think it's got some of the best sections in it, and the last 3 books have always been my kind of where I feel like the series really comes into its own. So I gave this 5 stars. Also, like, the nostalgia of Harry Potter means that I basically have to give all 7 of the books 5 stars, regardless of how I feel about them, because they're just like so wonderful. I then went on to read 3 short stories in a bind-up called Lips Touch by Laini Taylor. This is not a book that I've seen many people talk about. It's by the same woman who wrote the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, which I still haven't read. I'm getting around to it, but I haven't got there yet. And these are 3 stories, each one based around some different mythologies and folklore, and centered around this, the pinnacle of the story being when 2 people kiss. I really liked this. I gave it 5 stars. I thought the stories were really good. I'm usually not a fan of short stories. I've said this in a previous video. I find them they're a really difficult thing to do well. I feel like often people do them really badly, and I'm not interested in those. And these, they held my attention. I thought they were interesting. I was very connected to the characters. I really liked them, so I would definitely recommend these. And Laini Taylor's writing style in these was so beautiful that I'm really keen to start her trilogy very soon. After that, I read Rat Queens by Curtis J. Wybe and Rock Upchurch, which that's a very cool last name, isn't it? And this is Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery. I've talked about this in a couple of videos. Rat Queens, I was sent this by my friend Natalie. It's amazing. It's so cool. Basically, it's about this group of assassins called the Rat Queens, who are these 4 really motherfucking badass women. They're like, I feel like they're very similar to lots of different male kind of action heroes, both in movies and books and video games, who are these kind of like really rugged sex. They have a lot of sex, they drink a lot, they swear a lot, they're really massively inappropriate, but you love them because they're really a hero, even though they do some really awful kind of morally corrupt things. These women are that. I love it. It's great. It's amazing. It's 5 stars. You should all go and read this. Also, can we talk about the like colours and all of this? And they're stunning. And if you look at the front, then it also has individual portraits, and they're all really fucking gorgeous. Can we talk about how pretty this artwork is? And then you all need to go and read this because it's amazing. So the next thing that I read was a thing I don't actually own. I just borrowed a copy, and it is The Search Part 2, which is one of the Avatar Legend of Aang. Sorry, not Legend of Aang. Avatar The Last Airbender comics. This continues on the story from the first issue, where the gang are off to try and find Zuko's mother. I gave this 5 stars. I thought this was slightly better than the first one. I felt like the characters were slightly more themselves again. I really liked this. I love Avatar. It's so good. It's so good. If you haven't watched Avatar The Last Airbender, you need to get on that. After that, I read We Are Pirates by Daniel Handler. Daniel Handler is the guy who is also Lemony Snicket, and he writes books under his own name, and this is his newest one. I really don't know how I feel about it. I have specifically on my Goodreads, I have not given this a rating yet, because I really do not know how I feel about this book. It's so weird and so strange. I just, there aren't words for it. I was expecting something similar to A Series of Unfortunate Events, and it is, but it's much, much darker, a lot darker, in a way that you don't really realise until right at the end. So I got, all the way through this book and was like, this is fine, but the plot's not really doing much. And then I finished the book, and I thought about it, and I was like, holy crap, that was really disturbing, and really fucked up, and really dark, and really good. But also, I don't understand, not much really happened, and the order was really funny, and I never really understood most of the characters, but in a way that I feel like I wasn't really supposed to, because do you ever really understand people? And then it's really hella confusing. But I feel like I enjoyed it, but I basically, I need someone else to read this book so that I can talk to them and figure out how I feel about it. So if any of you have read this, please tell me how you feel about it, and we can have a discussion so I can figure out how I feel about it, because at the minute, every time I think about it, my brain just shuts down because it's so weird. That said, I really like this cover. I especially I like this little mini dust jacket, but I also really like this front cover. It's really nice. So after the weirdness that was We Are Pirates, I then read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling, which is book 6. Again, I gave this 5 stars. Am I really going to give it anything else? It's the 6th Harry Potter book. I then obviously read Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, book 7 in the Harry Potter series, finishing my reread that I started in December. It only took me 5 months. Yay! That didn't take too long. Again, 5 stars. I really, really love this book. And again, I'm faced with the question that I had the last time that I read book 7, which is, did people honestly not know that Dumbledore was gay? I got that the first time I read this. Him and Grindelwald. Totes. You can feel the sexual tension in that letter. Or was that just me? Was that just, weirdly, homosexual shipper 11-year-old me? Because I got that the first time, and everyone kind of was like, where's Dumbledore gay? I got that the first time I read this book. So the last book that I read in April was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I had heard some mixed things about this book. Some people said it was spectacular, and other people seemed to not enjoy it very much. And so I was quite hesitant going in, but I loved this book. I don't know how to explain why I liked this so much. I mean, part of it was that I felt like it really grasped some things about depression that a lot of books kind of just don't get very much. The Finch's being asleep thing is a thing that I, not to the same extent, but that I had when I was dealing with my worst bit of depression, was definitely a thing that I had. And my ability to grasp time has been really crap kind of ever since, because it's just so strange. Sometimes time goes really, really fast, and sometimes it goes really slow, and you just forget really large chunks of your life. And I could relate to that so much, and his attitude towards almost committing suicide to remind yourself that you have control of your life is just such a it's bits of depression that no one ever really talks about, but they're so if you've experienced them, or if you know people who've experienced them, they're very, really poignant things that people just leave out when they make characters who have depression. And so I really liked this, and especially reading the kind of like acknowledgement and the context at the back of this book, which you definitely shouldn't do until you finish the book. Don't read it before. But just like the last kind of 4 chapters of this book, I was just sobbing because one of the other things that really sucks about mental health and the fact that so many people have it is that even when you have a mental health condition, you don't get to be the person in your group that has it. So you have to be going through all of the shit that is your mental health, but also it's pretty likely that at least one of your friends will also be going through some really awful crap. So not only are you massively struggling, but then they're struggling as well, and that just makes things a lot worse for both of you. And so dealing with a friend who is suicidal while being depressed is a really awful thing, but it's an important thing to talk about in some novels, and I really don't want to cry while I talk about this book, but like so much of this book was so well done, and I really liked it. Like, I can understand why some people felt like it was some cliches, and I wasn't too keen on the like Sylvia Plath Hemingway crap, because like every character ever is interested in Sylvia Plath and Hemingway, and I just like, not all teenagers are interested in classics, but some are, and so I kind of didn't mind because there was more to them than that, and I really liked this book. So I gave this book 5 stars and many tears, because I was crying for quite a large portion of the last section of this book. So those are the books that I read in April. I will now try to hold them all. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!